All right, welcome to episode number 30 of the Sundowners Golf Club podcast. I'm Giovanni. I've got Matt Caldwell here with me as well, but I also have another guest here on the show. We are excited to have AVL, Andrew Von Lossow, here on the podcast today. AVL is, I actually have a story, AVL, that I want to know if you remember, but you and I go way back, and I don't know if you know this. Years ago, this is a long introduction. Years ago, when I was in college, I came across Lead Tape Chronicles, and I thought it was the coolest page ever. I'm a big lead tape junkie. I came across the page, and I think I was following it for a while, and I saw a story that you'd posted, and it was Indian Canyon. And I chimed in. I was like, hey, that's where I always play. And then you had said something like, yeah, this is where I play too. It felt like I met a celebrity at that point. Do you remember this?
Very vaguely. I've gotten so many messages. I've had that page now for a number of years, but it's awesome where it's like the inland Northwest, that's our home turf. And it's like, hey, I know this guy. We're instant pals.
So just for listeners, we don't have a lot of them, but for the listeners, I know Matt Hansen's listening. He usually listens by like 2 a.m. our time because he's in Switzerland, but AVL, he owns the Lead Tape Chronicles Instagram page with your, what is it, Glen Cove Trading Company.
Yep, exactly.
AVL's been making our shirts and hats for our fall and spring classics. And then I can see the belt in the background. He also won our fall classic at Wine Valley last month. So we're happy to have you on, AVL.
Thanks for having me on here. Yeah, our buddy Seth Kitsky got the belt. That's quite an honor. That was one of the best prizes ever to win. To get a chance to win a belt, you're like, hey, I gotta lock in.
Yeah, that's right. Lock in.
What, 3 2s on the card?
Yeah, 2 hole outs with on numbers on 7 and 17. But that was the back pin on 7 off the sideboard, and that was amazing. And then on 17 at Wine Valley, I almost flew it in the hole. It ran up the slope, one skip, and spun back. And we were waiting for it to just, how it normally does. It comes off the front. You're like, oh, another chip shot. And sure enough, it's like, well, didn't see it. It could be good. And then no ball up there. It's like, oh my gosh, I finally did it after the 10 years of playing at that course. It's so cool.
Yeah. And that's the hole out pin location too, right?
Yeah,
it really is. Yeah.
That's what's so fun with the tournament. Then the format, the 3, the 6s, and then where the pins were. Like, it was just such a fun day. Like, we had a good pairing, met some new guys. I can't remember the college kids and high school kids. They were really fun. They were nice. Cool guys.
Oh, those were the Smith brothers, right? I think Tyler and Caden.
Yeah, Tyler. I know Tyler's stepdad or Tyler's dad. So it was like a little, connection that way too. That was really cool.
That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, we put you with those guys because they were another low handicap team, and it'd be kind of fun to see some fireworks out there.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I think I got to play with the only guy that had a lower handicap than you, and it was really fun to watch. Watching those guys, they really started firing in the best ball section actually, and I think they came in at. Do you remember G? I want to say 6 under.
I think they were 67. They were the next best to you guys, AVL.
Nice. Yeah, I mean that format, the scramble, the modified kind of the Chapman style, and then was it scramble as well? Like best ball, like you kind of like got to pick your spots where you're getting hot, but at the same time, there's all the equalizer elements to it as well with the Chapman, and like when I made that eagle, that's what made the eagle really cool on the 7th hole, because I hit one way right. Seth and I both kind of hit one right. We took a ball from the rough and got it way up there and got it to like 90 yards away, and then make an eagle on that side of the format. That was a big gift, because that's just normally you're like, hey, par's really good,
Yeah, you stole one from the course there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Seth tell you about his eagle in our club championship 2 years ago on that hole?
No, he didn't.
Really? Oh man. I was in the group ahead of him, and he hit a drive in the center of the fairway. There's a picture of himself. Who else was in that group? Matilla and
Brandon Squires was in that group. James Kavanaugh.
Who's the guy that hit? Because Squires didn't hit it in the group. Oh, Adam Goody. It was Goody
Okay.
and Matilla. They hit their tee shots off the gold tees, and all of them were then 4 feet of each other in the center of the fairway.
No way.
His hit a 3-wood to the back of the green, and it was in the front left pin.
Oh,
and I'm
right.
Box watching the putt. And I watch him hit the putt. I look away, and I had enough time to look back and watch it go in. I was like,
"Jeez,
these guys are firing."
Just the snake.
And we weren't firing, so we got to hear.
No.
You know how Seth gets, right?
He can get fired up at times.
Yeah.
G retired a pair of my shoes from that tournament. I had a nice white pair of Air Max golf shoes that I haven't worn since that tournament. I have so many needles in them.
On the search and rescue team?
Yeah. SAR, baby.
Yeah.
I've definitely broken out my rain pants in the middle of summer playing at Wine Valley when you got to start searching.
Yeah. You get all the needles, and you're like, all right, can't wear these socks, and these shoes require some extra maintenance now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Get a special pair of tweezers.
Well, AVL, I want to keep going through your resume because here we are talking about how you won our tournament. You weren't the lowest handicap player we had. We had a lot of really good golfers playing in that tournament, and you still won by 5 strokes. So there's no denying that you're a stud on the golf course. And when we look at some of the tournaments you've played in and some of the victories you've had, it's pretty stinking impressive. We're going back to the Grass League. We talked about that last week. So you're on the LA Roses. I see you got the sweatshirt there. I want to talk more about that. That's really cool that you're a part of that. It's fun to watch. Looks like in 22, you were the Washington Golf Men's and Mid Amateur Player of the Year. And then for Mid Am, you did it again last year, or this year I saw. Just a long list of wins. I recognize the Rosars Open. What year did you win that one?
That was last year.
Okay.
2024.
Okay.
And then this year came in second by a shot. But that was a really cool. Home course, Indian Canyon. I play in Spokane. I play Indian Canyon, Qualchan. Occasionally I'll play Manitou if I get an invite. Kind of other places, all invitation based. My home courses are try to play Wednesday at Qualchan in the afternoon, and then Friday for the Friday Skins game at the Canyon. And I'll go play and practice there too. So I know so many people, and the Rose Hours is always the highlight for me. I love Northwest Majors, and then have a course, the home course, and then all your friends around and the home track to get it done there. It's still so cool. That's like an all time. To me, it's cool. You can play a tournament that's a big deal. You get so many people traveling in from, and you can play it on your home course. It's just really cool.
Yeah, my grandpa and I used to go and watch when I first moved to Spokane to go to college. Me and my grandpa would go watch every few years. It's a cool tournament, and it's no joke golf. But you have it. I don't know. Like, would you call yourself like a career amateur? I kind of get like Stuart Hagestad vibes with you playing all these amateur tournaments, and we were just talking about Matt's TV in the background, and that's the 2022 US Am, where you famously beat Michael Thorbjornsen, who was number 3 ranked player in the world at that time. So like, is this kind of just a hobby, or do you have certain aspirations as an amateur golfer, or where are you at on that?
Yeah, I love to compete. I love tournament golf. I grew up in a golf family. My dad had Vaughn's Golf and Putter Studio in Seattle. So I've grown up in the game. He ran the club shop out of the basement out of our house. We'd have customers come over, have a putting green in our backyard, a hitting net, and then he had the shop down by University Village in Seattle. So growing up in Seattle, it's you can play year round, but you have to be committed.
Sure.
But I just love the competition of it. I love hitting shots solid. That's my favorite feeling, is seeing the ball flight for the shot you want to hit. And so it started. I played junior tournaments when I was 8 years old, and then did like baseball, basketball, but like kind of rec league style. But then when I was just getting into high school, turned to golf full time, and like played at Nathan Hale in Seattle. and I'd come in top 5 in the Metro League a few times. I didn't really win much, but I was always kind of in the mix. And then worked at Sandpoint Country Club for a number of years. And one round I had is in 2007. I ended up shooting a 63. I was 19 years old, with 10 birdies, an eagle, a triple, and a bogey. And at that same time, I found out my grandpa passed away, like that night, in
Wow.
a accident at home. So that was like and then with my friends, they stopped playing. We played 36 that day as our second round. And I was like, I think he was helping me out there, but having that round is like, man, I can start shooting some with a round like that and a few other good scores that summer. I'm like, can shoot some good scores. So and I played community college. Oh yeah.
I was going to take a wild guess. I bet you remember every shot of that triple bogey.
Yeah, exactly. It was so the last like 4 holes were in the dark.
Oh my gosh.
Like I made a birdie. It was par 5, number 6. We played the back 9 first. Yeah, I was 19. I'm 38 next month, but still remember it. And yeah, made birdie on this par 5. Next hole is par 3, and I was making putts like you just don't make. And I made this putt in the dark on the par 3 7th, like along the spine. Oh, there's a 2, and then 8. It's really dark. It's a hole where you have to. You can hit 3-wood, but kind of lost it right. Yeah, chipped out. Got one down by the green. Went under a chip shot. 2 putt, make it 8, and then the next hole's in the dark again. But I remember the flag was kind of in line with the flagpole, and hit it to like 8 feet, and made birdie there. So I finished my round 2-8-2, par 3, par 5 to par 3.
That is wild. And you're a golf sicko if you can remember shot by shot 19 years later.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm shout out to Wah Golf. They had a little write up. I saw that you were on a podcast with them or some sort of video interview. So it looks like you went to Southwestern Oregon Community College, and they put in here parentheses, of course, because the home course was Bandon Dunes. Tell me about that. What was your like? Were you? I mean, you said you're 19 when you shot that 63. Did you have any college offers at that point? Did you even really want to play college golf at that point?
Well, I've always struggled like high school, and I've always struggled with math and everything. And I'm like, I got to really focus on school. And so I went to Shoreline Community College for a couple of years and did video editing, like video editing, certificate kind of deal. Kind of always been handy on the computer, graphic design or editing. And then I'm like, well, I still want to play college golf because I didn't have any offers. I didn't realize being like you have to recruit yourself quite a bit. I always just thought you had to play better to just get the attention of college coaches, but I didn't realize that it helps if you go out and recruit yourself.
Yeah. That might be true for golf, maybe not like Texas high school football, but for golf,
yeah,
I think you're right.
Right. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I still want to play. And then I had a friend, Tyler Ames, he went to Southwestern Oregon, and I'm like, I'm always competitive with him. He's playing down there, and it's at Bandon. My first time I went to Bandon, I was 15, and I was like, well, I got to look into this. And so sure enough, I got down there for a season. I only played from 2009, just January to June. And it was a great, it was an awesome time. My buddy, still one of my good friends this day, Joe Rafson, he was on the team, and we went down there no matter what the weather every day. We're like, we're down at Bandon, get the classes done, and go down to Bandon, go down to the resort.
Oh, absolutely. So do you go down to Bandon often nowadays?
The last time I went was 2021 or 22 for the PNW PGA Pro-Am. It's amazing how popular it is on the world scale now. I always thought it's always a big deal to us in the Northwest, but now it's the worldwide resort destination. And I still have a number of buddies who caddy there. My friend Tony Schuster caddies there, and I talk to him all the time.
Caddied for me the last time I was there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I talk to him a few times a week. I'm talking to him all the time. But it's so funny. I always would like to go there, but it's so popular now, and it's such a main destination. I'd like to go there if it's like a little more low key, or tee times are set up for you, or you're not going full retail.
It's hard to get there, man. We're planning on doing a 2030 Sundowners Club Championship there, and I've already been in touch with Bandon on how we can set that up.
Nice.
Yeah, Tony Schuster's a beauty. He was our caddy for the week when we went there gosh, I guess it would have been 23 when we last went, maybe. He's a
Cool.
beauty, and I was telling Matt we got to get him on the pod. So maybe I'll send this once we upload this. I'll send it over to him, see if we can follow up with Tony.
Oh, definitely. He's gone to so many cool places in golf, and he's met so many amazing people, and he's incredible himself. He'd be awesome on here. He's got so many stories. He'll keep you laughing all day long.
He's a heck of a storyteller, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's really good at it.
I know Matt and I were talking about the grass league stuff. I'm curious your thoughts on this, because in my mind, the grass league just kind of popped up out of nowhere. I think I remember last year was the first time I really paid any attention to it, and it's on Peacock, and they got these like headliners playing concerts there. I'm like, where did this thing even come from? And now this year, it seemed like the purse, I don't even know did it double? I don't remember seeing $40,000 prize last year, but how did you get spun up in that? What's your experience been with that? Where do you think it's going for you?
Yeah, I think it's really amazing just seeing the traction this last event. It's really cool seeing the momentum with it. I got started with it, so just with my Lead Tape Chronicles page, you get down some golf rabbit holes, and and it kind of stems with a little bit with Tony back in the day, or just I used to caddy down the desert, Coachella Valley at the Hideaway and Madison Club, and we'd always do Muni Madness at the India Par 3, and that was always at night. That's like groups of 25, 3 groups of 25 players, pretty much. Pars are good, just trying to make a birdie or a hole in one. And so there's that fun of the night golf. A lot of good players have always played in those. And so I was scrolling along and then saw a grass clippings course and kind of the restoration of the rolling hills. It's like, was it the brand Stay Grassy? Like the Hazeltons bought this course to renovate down in Tempe. That's where they play the grass league. So this was maybe 2 years ago, but they kind of originated in the Arizona desert with the Arizona Skins games, and they had they call it the Grass League Championship, and they just had like a team theme. And so I kind of heard about it that way, and I'm like, that's cool. That reminds me of Muni Madness. And then I saw some other posts like, hey, we're gonna have a tournament called the Grass League. It was like the GL Championship, one of the original ones. Sure. I'm like, that's cool. That's the Muni Madness. That was so much fun. And so with one of my friends, my friend Mark Paris, he helps me with my golf swing, or gets me in touch with coaches I've worked with over the years. He was one of my dad's customers in Seattle at Vaughn's Golf. And he's friends with Parker McLaughlin, the short game chef. Paris is really connected with a lot of coaches over the golf space. So I was like, hey, Paris, what do you think about asking Parker about this grass league thing? It sounds like it could be a real event going forward. It's Par 3s at night. Like, it's really cool. And so he put me in touch with Parker, and I talked to him. And then this was just after the USAM and everything. So, and then had a good year in Washington. So at least I've got some momentum of good golf behind me. And
a little bit of clout.
He's like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I got an idea. All right, let me introduce you to Jimmy Hazelton. Well, let me put you in touch with Jimmy. And he's one of the founders of the Grass League. And so I talked to him, and then he put me in touch with Mitch McCarthy. He's one of the ownership group and players on the LA Roses. And this was over a year ago. This is kind of like spring, or kind of like the summer a couple of years ago. And then I played, last year in December in the first event, which was kind of the one that got on Peacock and stuff like that.
So yeah, I remember watching that one.
Yeah, it's been a progression of just meeting the right people and getting going that way. But yeah, with there's a lot of full steam behind it, good management groups, and really connected in entertainment, Golf Channel and all that kind of stuff, the entertainment and all the social media folks and sports. So it's really cool, all the people that are involved.
For people that don't really know exactly how the Grass League functions, can you kind of talk about the infrastructure, how the competition works and everything like that?
Yeah, there's 11 franchises, and there's 4 teams of 2 players per franchise that play in each tournament. And the caveat is it's 2-man scramble. So it's a true team golf. It's a true team golf, team element, look to it. So it's, this year we had 3 tournaments. There's the GL, like the tournament in the spring. That's not the championship. Like the Grass Clippings Open, and that one had actually the first ever draft, like a live draft, where we actually had that one was 8 teams, I think, playing per, or 6 teams playing per the event. So that was a bigger field. So those guys are on the roster for the year, but you play 4 teams per event. So this one, spring event was the Open, and then the summer event was in Goat Hill Park in August, and that was a true team aggregate. So 4 teams, what your total score is, and that was your team score. And individual didn't count. They did have 1 individual prize or 2 for the 2-man team, but and then finally this last year GL championship this last month was the traditional format, but back at Grass Clippings in Arizona, and the individual and then the season-long points race. So there's a little bit of all kinds of action going on.
I love that. So we kind of touched on this last week, and what we thought was, what the Grass League brought different to golf. And I just mentioned that, the PGA Tour kind of has tournament, stroke play on lock, right? Like it's going to be very hard to compete with that model. And Liv is coming around, and they're trying to do their thing where they're doing, stroke play tournaments, and there's this team environment. But in my opinion, the Grass League has a little bit better of a look. They just fully are leaning into this team look. It's a scramble, which is when most people are going out and playing in a foursome. That's what we're doing, right? I mean, 90% of the time, if you get 4 bros together, we're splitting up 2v2 scramble. So was that something that drew you, or are you just interested in playing in something fun and interesting?
I like the fun and interest, like it's new, but I like the team element, the scramble, and having that team element where you're taking golf, like we were saying, from complete stroke play to a true new element of like, this is actually team golf, where scramble, the strategy of my partner, Blake Snyder, it's kind of whoever is the hot hand who you're feeling to alternate. All right, who's going for this one? Who's going to play it safe, putting or chipping? Hopefully not too much chipping, but it can happen. But it's good for Blake because he chips in a lot. But, just the levels of aggressiveness, and then you look at it in a team scale, and it matters for the season point race or that tournament as well. So I think it's just unique. It's cool. It's par 3s. It's so different because you're just right from the tee shot. You're in the action. It's not like hitting the tee shot with your driver and then get in position. This Grass League. You're like, all right, this one matters right now. You're teeing off.
Yep.
And then
it gets into shot from the go. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it gets into putting. It's a putting contest as well. But it was cool that the meeting we had this last week, or for this last event, they have the new franchise from Las Vegas. And one of the guys, one of their ownership group members, was talking about how they're really believing in this for the future because there's so much action. It's good for clips online. It's just so much action on each shot and opportunity for highlights or a lot of swings, emotional swings, competition swings. It's just there's a lot going on.
Yeah, I mean, there's no denying like the traction this thing's getting. Well, for example, you got Good Golf has their franchise. I'm just looking at the list now. Silverleaf Golf Club, Wyndham Clark. For some reason I thought Mark Wahlberg might have some financial interest in this thing, but there's just like some real
yeah,
deals.
they're sponsored by Municipal Clothing, which I think they all wear municipal gear. Yeah, our Roses, we got Dave Roberts. We haven't met yet. Dave hasn't come out to an event yet, but we've talked to him on the phone. But Dodgers manager, he's a really cool guy.
Is that who that is?
Yeah, those back-to-back Dodgers.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean,
so
after some of the signings, they might get another one.
Because you bring up Dave Roberts, I wasn't expecting to bring this up, but a couple episodes ago, G and I discussed our opinion of who would be a good Ryder Cup captain long term, right? After that Ryder Cup showing, we decided that we need to change our model. And I came up with somebody, and I still to this day actually think it's like a legit option. You mentioned Dave Roberts. I brought up Terry Francona, who is like a huge golf guy.
Right.
You know, off the top of your head, what do you think is this choice? Terry Francona. Come on.
That's a great idea. Terry, yeah, you get the hat kind of up, you're just sitting doing the stance, like
the big
dugout.
Exactly.
I think, if you're going that route, I think it's a little unfair for what Pete Carroll's been going through this last year in Oakland. I think Pete Carroll would be a good Ryder Cup captain. I mean, Oakland, Vegas for the Raiders. Flashback.
We talked
Pete
about
Carroll. He could be a Ryder Cup captain. I think get on the podium. I think he could recover all the get the guys riled up.
Too much energy. I think that's too much energy. Is it? He's just kind of
he can taper it down a little bit, but yeah, then he'd be pacing on the tee box.
We kicked around, so we gave ourselves a homework assignment and said we got to pick someone from the sports world, non-golf, that would be a good captain, and then somebody who's completely separated from the sports world. This was happening while the Internet Invitational was going on, and I had a slight hope that maybe John Gruden could do it, or at least be like a vice captain.
Oh, that'd be great.
Watching his hype videos are insane. I mean, it seems like anybody that he's around just wants to run through a wall for him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got to get better. I'm going to tune in more to the internet style golf. I got to tune in a little more on YouTube and stuff. I saw that clip and he's like, "Are you going to pound the rock here? Come on, guys, let's go."
Oh, yeah.
No, so if you are interested in hearing that discussion, it's episode 24. This is me trying to be a better podcaster here. So episode 24 is when we had that conversation. Hey, I do want to share my screen one more time really quick, because we're talking about being playing team golf. You've got I got to pull up the right one here. So I'm going to go to the franchises. So you're on the Roses. Is this group are they the Roses right now, or are they signed through certain deals? How does that work? Or do they just add people to the roster in hopes of everybody making it?
Yeah, you could add to the roster. From my understanding, you add to the roster. You can have a bigger roster than just the 8 players that are there on each tournament. So, and I think we're all signed up through this year. And then I'm not sure. I'd like to. Hopefully, it works out. I'll be on the team again. I'd love to do it. We have such a good group. But yeah, it's really cool. I'd say everyone would be back from what I'd say. It's one of those things where you got true team chemistry. Like you got to get along with everyone and see eye to eye. And I don't know, it's cool to have that element in golf and then a par 3 setup. It's just a totally different strategy from the GM side to setting up your bag. Like Blake probably has different wedges out. He had a few different wedges, or you're thinking of different shots to play, and it's a cool way to go about it.
So do you have a general manager, or is there like a playing captain? Like who's making decisions for your team?
Yeah, it's Mitch McCarthy, who's played a few. He's a great player himself, and him and Danny and Joey Ream, those guys help. That's kind of there's a couple other guys as well, Leif and Brian as well. So it's a group. There's a collective group with the LA Roses. We got a deep squad.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Up in the GM tent, and then out in the field as well. So we got a good system.
Pretty good infrastructure for the LA Roses.
Exactly.
So do you guys have like a group chat for the LA Roses? Like, are you guys just in touch with each other still, or you just kind of meet up at the event? How does that team dynamic work?
It's the last couple of times I'll check in on one of the group chats. I talked to Mitch and Danny, Joey, and Blake, like we were talking during the playoffs, baseball playoffs. And then team-wise, the group chats died down a little bit, but a couple of weeks leading up to it, it's all pretty active, that's part of the fun of it too. It's cool, all the people I've met this last year from the whole event, but like just meeting like Ryan Ruffles and Bat on there, and Dylan Vandeveer. He's a good like Astro Tour player doing Q School. Mason Glinsky, he's doing Asian Tour Q School. You're in the grass league. I noticed it's cool where you're meeting so many people from all styles of golf, like just out of college. There's guys like Jim Strickland. He grew up in Washington, but he's down in Arizona for years. And another Brian Hops is this amateur senior, like number 1 senior am in the world. Like you're meeting people from all generations of golf and who can still get it around. And you're playing par 3s, which expands the field of competition too. Anyone can play par 3 golf well. You don't need to hit it. You don't need to bomb it,
Yeah, your distance isn't much of an advantage at that point when you're hitting 130-yard golf shots.
Right.
No, so what does your schedule look like moving forward? Do you have certain tournaments circled? I noticed that you played in the Gasparilla Open a couple times. Is that on the schedule?
This year, unfortunately, it's not. I'm focusing on work a little bit more. I need to get some more orders going for all my merch, and it was tough to swing it this year. So not this year, hopefully the year after.
How'd you get connected with that one? And I ask because I've been following No Laying Up forever. And I know that Solly, the main guy, that's kind of a fun thing he does every year where he follows us around along with the Gasparilla. Have you met those guys? Is it like an invitational only thing? Tell me about that.
That one, yeah, I've played with Solly a couple years ago. Him and Shane Bacon, they're kind of pals now, and I played with them in a practice round, not last year, the year before, and I got into Gasparilla just hearing about it from some friends from USGA events, and then I had the USGA event with beating Thorbjornsen and made it to USGA 4-ball, made match play down at Country Club Birmingham a couple years ago, and got in. So that's another great event where these events, they're about good golf. They're also about treating people well, respect to the game. It is all about competition there, but let's say if you have a bad day, you're not going to be throwing a fit and being a jerk to people. It's like, It's realization. Hey, it's more than a game as well. That's one of the things about golf. It's like, that's what's like Sundowners. Like you couldn't tell how people really played afterwards. Everyone's just happy to be there and happy to have play golf. And that's what we love to do. We love to play golf and the stuff that comes with it, like
that's right.
We're getting tacos and no one's in there pouting like, oh, I should have done this today. It's like, hey, if you didn't play great, it's okay. Like you're going to play great another day.
That's easy for you to say as you win by 5 strokes.
Hey, that's Seth, that did help, but
yeah.
But yeah, exactly.
So are you
like, tacos are great, by the way.
Oh, shout out to Tony's tacos.
Man.
He's one of us now. So
didn't he host? Didn't he bring the food into somebody's? Somebody had a party or something, and Tony's Tacos hosted at their house this year.
Jason Sadler, who's one of our Sundowners, Tony's Tacos was there to bring the food for his Halloween party.
That's a great Halloween party, and I didn't even go. I can just tell.
Yep. Well, if you know Jason, and you may have met Jason, he owns Tap and Barrel here in Richland. He's a great guy, but if you know Jason, he has a good Halloween party.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
So for you moving forward, obviously it seems like you're at least in for another year for the Grass League. But where are you at in your golf game? Are you still setting lofty goals, or do you have a particular thing in mind, or are you just kind of rolling with it?
I'd say I work through my buddy Paris. He helps me out, and then Chris Welsh. Yeah, trying to be competing on. I just love trying to get to national championships. The USGA. Really want to get a nice run in a match play scenario again, and just being smart about that with the schedule and balancing work, and then not being burned out for tournaments. So as qualifiers, USGA is like number 1 on my list now. Playing Grass League, if I have set schedule with that, that's also up there too, because it's just a good opportunity. It's like those are the levels that you want to play well on with so much exposure on them, and they're fun. Like it's just you meet a lot of good people that way, and I love competing when there's a lot of the bright lights are involved. Like when I played that USGA match with Thorbjornsen, that was some of the most fun I've ever had, and just getting that adrenaline surge the whole time, then managing that. But when you're over a shot and just knowing how much it matters, I just love for that. I just love that tournament adrenaline.
Absolutely.
That's the kick for me.
When you go to these tournaments, I mean, you travel all across the country. Do you have a family that comes and stops by to support you, or does it just depend on the event?
Yeah, it just depends on the event. My girlfriend Alyssa will drop in. She'll come with me on a few of them if it's a cool spot. She's gone to Gasparilla a couple times. I've played in that 3 times, so she loves that one. And you get treated so well there. That's what makes that event so great, because the membership's so welcoming. USGA kind of depends, and that's just it's such a golf trip, as in the sense you get there, travel day, usually, like I've played in the ones back east, so it's a full travel day. Next day's practice round, so you're there all day, and a little bit of practice afterwards, and then the next day you play another course. So because you do 2 different courses for stroke play qualifying, and then that's another full day, and it's like you feel like you didn't do it. You only played 2 tournament rounds, but you've just spent like a week in preparation with a travel day and 2 practice round days.
And so your girlfriend's probably not going to go because she'll be on her own the whole time, huh?
Exactly. Yeah, she's not a big USGA goer.
So what does next year look like for the USAM or trying to qualify for the US Open? Do you have that on your schedule? Like, what's that looking like? Where are you going?
I do. Yeah, I'd say traditionally with those setups, there'll be a qualifier at Palouse Ridge for US Open locals. And then I'm not sure where the sectionals will be, but that can range from Chambers Bay to Wine Valley, or not too many courses out east. Sometimes Gamble Sands, because we don't. But Wine Valley is such a good host for championship tournaments too.
Yeah.
And then I'll try to get in section majors if I can, like Washington Open, Northwest Open, or Oregon Open. Sometimes those get a little tricky with extra travel, and then that's just you're taking away a week usually for work basis all the time. If I've got orders stacking up, I've tried to do it all the last couple of years, and then I'm realizing that it's tough when you burn the candle at both ends. I keep trying, but I'm starting to find it is a taxing endeavor.
Seems like it'd be hard to do, though. You might tell yourself, I'm going to take next year. I'm going to take it easy, and then the invite starts coming in, and your old buddies text you telling you about a tournament. It's probably hard to say no.
It's one of the hardest things ever. It is. But I'm like, man, these credit cards, I got to pay off these damn credit cards.
I don't want to make you nervous, but G and I talked about we're going to do a travel at some point for next season to go some of these local tournaments. So I don't want you to get nervous when Sundowners podcast shows up. All right.
God, that'd be great. That'd be perfect.
If the Sundowners podcast makes you nervous, then I don't know how well your grass league is going to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I'm talking like we're big, all right? Heat check, exactly. Well, hey, you were going through the rosters of the grass league, G, and I was waiting for one name to come up to really segue one of my big questions. It's been
okay. You know what?
Kill
some time a little bit. I'm gonna find him. Okay.
So, stage.
We're gonna wet the whistle. Okay.
So there's been a debate, and you've probably seen it, regarding people's qualifications into certain tournaments. And we were talking today before the podcast. Just kind of what we wanted to talk to you about. And this was the first thing that I came up with was I need your opinion on people who have played professionally getting their amateur status back. Now, I have my opinion. G has his opinion. I think of all the people that we know collectively, you're the most qualified person to answer this question.
Yeah, it is a hot button topic these days. Overall, I'm okay with it. I'd say most of the guys that are coming back that were pros and then are playing amateur, like they're not putting the same amount of time in it, but that mental experience has something to be said. Like the US Mid-Am this last year, it's like not only guys are amateur or professionals, they were like 10-year pros, like finishing pretty high up for the Korn Ferry Tour, and like not just like I played pro golf 2010 for 1 year Dakota's Tour, and then I caddied for a number of years, so I wasn't like a real pro, like a card holding member. You know what I mean?
Sure.
These guys are like card holding members, global players. But I still think it's fine. But yeah, it's like, man, you guys are still really good. And I know that's how golf is. Like you can roll really hot for a while, then cool off. So it's okay. But I do see the both sides of of the talk. Like one of my friends, Nate Smith, he just won Idaho Player of the Year. He won on the Corn Ferry Tour in 2010 or 12, I want to say, and still a great player. He's 40, 43 or something. One of the best putters I've seen, but it's fun to watch him play because you can just tell like this guy's a seasoned gamer. He played DP World Tour years ago, traveled the world. But I can still nip him here and there.
All right, we know you can. So if you're in the, let's say for the US Am next year, you're in the finals, and you got to play a 36-hole match against Colt Knost, who just received his amateur status. Is it going to rub you wrong at all, or are you just going to put your head down and take care of business?
You got to take care of business, and in fact, just love that opportunity even more because it's like, hey, look here, pro. Let's square up and play this match.
Yep.
I got paired with Colt the last round in the grass league. Him and Scott Harrington, and he was a really good guy. He was fun teeing it up. He's just like how he is on TV or the podcast. You're not getting too much of a different side of him. He's very authentic, and he said, because I did ask, I'm like, did you really apply for amateur status? He's like, yeah, I did, but my last event I played was in 2020. The next event he can be an am in like in 28 or something. It's still going to be a little bit. It's still a couple of years, but that's just from all of his tour status and winnings. I think that's some justification on it, but for the most part now, I think if you were a pro and then you get your amateur status back, it's only like 6 months or a year now. It's not. A couple of years ago, I felt like they had a little longer periods in between.
Yeah, we were joking.
What are your guys' takes on it?
So you go ahead, Matt.
So at first, when this first became a topic of note, like my first gut reaction was like, oh, I could see a way, but I think that there needs to be a limit. That's a hard no. And how my mind works is I have to have equilibrium. And so I kind of like go to the extremes and whittle my way to the middle. And what I came down to was I just don't think that you should have it. And my reasoning for it was golf uniquely is a sport where you have clear delineations of amateurs and all the way to the top, highest competitive levels of amateur golf. And then you have pro golf. And in my opinion, and this is all stuff that you can't put on paper. It's not a tangible opinion. And I think that's why I say no is it takes the magic away from amateur golf. Like me talking to you today adds to the lore of me being excited to watch you from the PNW compete in open qualifiers, right? It's so cool to see a guy who is out there grinding like I am with a regular job and then also trying to qualify for one of the toughest tournaments on the planet. And so if you were to make it, I would be more excited to know that you did it as an AM, as opposed to you used to be a pro and you're kicking around the Corn Ferry Tour, and maybe you played in a secondary event on the PGA Tour, and then you left those tours, and then you got your amateur status back and then competed. And in my opinion, the lore factor of amateur golf gets taken away. And believe me, all of the arguments, like all the things that you said, I think are totally fair arguments. I'm arguing from the status of the mystical piece to it, the
right.
Yeah. And I guess that's what I'm trying to protect in my opinion of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Matt's defending Francis Ouimet's memory is what he's doing.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yes.
What's the other Buddy Mariucci, or so kind of during Tiger's time that he's an older AM or his 40s or so, but make it really high up in the USAM and stuff like that, where it's like, hey, that guy doesn't play golf all the time, or pro. It is totally different mindset wise being a pro golfer and tour golf. I've watched golf very closely since year 2000 or a little before that, but been pretty following golf really solid for 25 years. And the mental game aspect of it is completely different. And I don't know if you can't really create a different division of like former pro division, but it is different when you get it concentrated at this last US Mid-Am, where majority of all the players were former pros, but not just mini tour, but like card carrying pros, card carrying members.
Yeah.
I think that makes a difference. But I see what you're saying. Yeah, competition
I,
wise,
I, I even used you as an example when we talked about this, and I used our fall classic. The guy that I was paired with is a club pro in Bellingham, and he's like a plus 5.5 or something close to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like you guys are close, right? And I'm looking at the number, and you'd think one is better than the other, and in my mind, I was like, well, AVL plays like legit competitive golf, right? Like your mindset when you step on to a tee box is way different. And his handicap, and I'm not saying he's a bad golfer because he's the best golfer I've ever played with, is he gets to run that track that he plays all the time and other tracks with guys that he has access to. And I'm sure he plays money matches and things of that nature. And he probably plays in amateur events here and there, but I would venture to guess the number of actual competitive, true blue competitive tournaments you've played versus him is not comparable. And your handicaps put aside, you would be the guy that I would bet on because of that experience. And that's kind of part of that reason. It's like, okay, sure. This guy isn't out there grinding and doesn't have a coach that he's paying, $150,000 a year. That's fine, but he used to, and he used to put in those efforts, and it doesn't really take a lot for them to spin back up and get to be 70%.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mentioned Stuart Hagestad, and he gets talked about just whenever he qualifies for the U.S. Open or the Masters.
He's a professional amateur, yeah.
Right, and but at least as I understand it, I don't think he's ever been a card holding pro golfer. He's kind of one of those true amateur, professional amateurs, and I think that's what makes that story kind of fun. I mean, he was on the Walker Cup, which was kind of cool to see, and it just kind of adds to the allure. A little bit closer to what Matt's saying, where it's like there's a certain kind of just magic to it that this is a person who just has a normal job, and I just don't know that the storylines would be the same. We're picking on Colt Knost here, but if Colt Knost was an amateur and qualified for the Masters, right? Like we're not getting the same story there because everybody knows Colt Knost and knows that he played professionally.
It doesn't have that mystique or it's like, well, he just went back to his time where he'd done this for numerous years. And that's the thing with handicaps and playing like amateur golf, you can get really good playing in a certain region, but then when you travel across the across the country, that changes. Like I've played well in the Northeast, Florida or Southern. I played in Texas once now. That just takes a while for me to adjust to. I can play well in the desert or like California desert. But yeah, like if you're a pro, I mean, you're playing year round where you got that ingrained from your years of playing. And then you hop back to the amateur side of things. You're like, oh, I remember this from the Box Cutter Open in 2021, or, you know what I mean? It's just, you get all the different experience. Yes, it is a lot different. So yeah, I definitely see what you're saying.
Okay, I got one more thing for you before we let you go. So I was looking and I saw that the 2025 Rosars Open, Daniel Campbell ended up beating you by a stroke. How well do you know Daniel?
He's actually one of my good pals. I mean, I'd argue that one reason why he played well is because he came over to my house, Alyssa and I's spot on the night before the tournament. I made some really good steaks, and so but we're good. Yeah, we're good friends. We played amateur tournaments together, like 2019 through 22, or when he turned pro and stuff like that. So yeah, he's a good pal.
I played with him. We played at Sylvie's Valley for a PNGA, and I was just working to get my handicap down below 4 or whatever it had to be. And so I just made it on the number, and we played some practice rounds with him. And just watching him golf, he was with his golf coach. I can't remember his golf coach's name, but they would get on a tee. They would be on a tee box, and it'd be a little dog leg right, and they would hit 6 shots out of 6 different windows on command, and we're just watching him kind of in awe because all I'm thinking is I started the day with a little draw, so that's what I'm going to hit today.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm going with the draw. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
he like really
good guy too.
hits. Yeah, he's such a nice guy. He hits it low, high. Like like you're saying, he's like an artist out there. He's got no glove, all field, lefty. He's just
Mhm.
like, all right, a little cut shot here, a little, draw over there, and that's really how he really. I think that's one reason why he can play Indian Canyon so well. Right-hander, hitting more draws, and now everything's more fade bias. But
Yeah.
he can just hit his standard little cut shot around there, and he gets to work.
Yeah, well, that's cool. That's cool that you guys are buddies because I saw that name and it looked like he was the PNGA Player of the Year too. So congrats to him. But I kind of assumed you guys knew each other in some fashion or another.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. Yeah, it's cool, like, just getting to know guys like him over the last few years, and he's played in my tournament at Jamboree at Wine Valley at the end of
Mhm.
we have that at the end of February this year on the 28th, and he played
We'll be
last
there.
year and a few other pros, and get you guys to play. Like, it's cool to see our golf community in the Pacific Northwest. It covers the whole area from the west side,
Yep.
east side, to got kind of the whole. It is a true community.
Because I think he's from Bellingham. I
Yeah,
believe.
exactly.
So yeah,
Yeah, and he's
touching
one of the
all points.
pros. Yeah, he's one of the pros at Bellingham Country Club.
Okay. So I guess before we go, I said that was my last thing, but why don't we talk about your Jamboree a little bit? Tell us what that's all about. Well, Sundowners will be there. We'll have a team to represent, but why don't you fill us in? How long you been doing it? What's the format? How does that day look?
Awesome. Yeah, it's cool. We're gonna do it February 28th this year. This will be the 5th year. Started it out of the COVID era because we just wanted to play an event, and then I thought, hey, with this Lead Tape Chronicles Instagram and how many people we know around the Northwest and itching to play, let's kick off a tournament. So talked to Tyler Sweet at Wine Valley, and so it started the first year. I had like 92 players, and kind of been around that area the last 4 years. And so the tournament's like, get the dust off of from the winter, at least get some of it, and see people you haven't seen the rest of the all winter. Everyone kind of goes in their old, like in Spokane, like I'll see a few friends, but it's not like seeing guys on a Friday in the
Sure.
summertime. So it's a friendly format where one gross, one net for the team element, 4-person teams, pick your team. And then there's individual gross and net. And then we do like low score on par threes, which we call the Hoover ball. Last year we did low score on par fives. We did the gauntlet, just like in the Sundowners, where the final four score, final four net, and then we do half pop skins. So there's, even if it's made to play your own ball, but if you don't happen to finish a hole, it's okay. There's still plenty to play for, and that's kind of the mentality of it. Because it's like, hey, we've been either on simulators or not playing this all winter, and it's just good to get out and see the ball on the ground again.
Absolutely. Well, no, we're excited to be there. I remember seeing it pop up last year, but not that I'm any expert by any means. But if you need anybody on the mic or any help with the operations of it, let me know. Happy to help out.
That sounds great. Yeah, this year, I'm inspired now with all the YouTube golf and seeing down at Grass League. You got to have your own media team, and you guys do a great job of podcasts. And then down at the Fall Classic, getting all the cameras out there. We got to bring the same juice to the Jamboree.
That's right. That's right. I was just telling Matt I want to start investing in some cameras, start getting to work.
Yeah.
Talking about today.
All right, AVL. Well, hey, I seriously appreciate you coming on, man. I know I guess we've met a couple times in passing, but it's awesome to have you on. I appreciate you doing this, and you're welcome back anytime.
Cool. Thanks for having me on here. This is great.
Thanks, and it was nice meeting you again.
Yeah, and we'll be in touch. We'll get an order in for our May Spring Classic. We'll make sure to get some sweet sweatshirts going. I got this one on right now. This is the one you put together for us.
Yeah, with the Puff logo. That one's great.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, buddy. Well, hey, you have a good night. Thanks again.
All right. Thank you. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. See you guys.